Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I've always prided myself on my discretion and meticulous eye as an event designer. My work is high stakes, transforming mundane spaces into unforgettable experiences, often for the ultra-wealthy. So when Brenda Thornton, a notorious socialite with a reputation for both extravagance and tight-fistedness, approached me for her annual charity gala, I knew it would be a challenge. But the contract was substantial, a six-figure design fee, plus all expenses covered for my team and me. It was set to be the centerpiece of my portfolio. The event was scheduled for her sprawling estate, deep in the remote canyons of Utah. Her team arranged my travel, a private jet charter from my home in Seattle directly to her nearest regional airfield, and a top-tier luxury SUV awaiting me there for the week. I flew out, spent days meticulously planning, coordinating local vendors, and even bringing in specialized floral artists from overseas. Everything was on track. The initial deposits for my work and my subcontractors had been paid, and I was about to greenlight the final, massive expenditures for custom installations. Then came the call. 2 days before the event, Brenda's assistant, a perpetually flustered woman named Chelsea, informed me that the entire gala was canceled. "Unforeseen circumstances," Chelsea stammered. "Ms. Thornton extends her deepest regrets, but the contract stipulates a force majeure clause." I knew what that meant. Brenda was trying to wiggle out of paying the remainder of my design fee, a cool $250,000, and my team's non-refundable travel and accommodation, plus the substantial cancellation fees from the high-end vendors I'd secured. Effectively, I was out over $300,000, stranded in rural Utah, and staring down a mountain of debt from my commitments. My blood ran cold. I'd seen clients try to pull stunts, but never on this scale. They expected me to simply pack my bags, eat the losses, and quietly disappear. They had prepaid my initial travel, the private jet return, and the rental car, thinking it was a minor cost compared to the contract they were trying to void. That's when the glint of an idea sparked. Brenda had paid for my entire round-trip private jet charter to Seattle and the luxury SUV rental for the week. What if my return trip wasn't quite what she expected? What if my use of the rental car was a little extended? I canceled the local vendor orders where I could, minimizing my immediate losses, and called my team to tell them the bad news, assuring them I'd find a way to cover their costs. Then I initiated step 1. The private jet charter was booked with a global provider, paid in full by Brenda. My return leg was scheduled from Utah to Seattle. I called the charter company, affecting a calm, professional demeanor. "My plans have changed unexpectedly," I explained. "I need to adjust my return flight. Instead of Seattle, I need to go to Monaco." There was a pause. "Monaco, ma'am, from Utah." "Yes," I confirmed. "My schedule has just been drastically altered. It's urgent." They checked the contract. It was indeed a flexible charter, paid in full for a certain number of flight hours, with change fees applicable. It covered a return trip for me, not a specific route. Changing a continental flight to an intercontinental one involved a massive increase in flight hours, fuel, crew changes, and landing fees. All of it would be charged to Brenda's account. They confirmed the change, citing unavoidable surcharges due to the significant route alteration. Next, the SUV. It was a top-of-the-line Range Rover, fully fueled, keys in hand. The rental was for 1 week, paid for by Brenda with unlimited mileage. I drove it not to the local airfield, but towards the nearest interstate, then east. I drove for 2 days straight, only stopping for fuel and quick naps, crossing state lines, then more state lines. My destination, New York City. I booked a small, inconspicuous hotel for 1 night, then drove to JFK. I returned the Range Rover at the luxury car rental branch there, citing unforeseen extended travel needs. The clerk barely blinked, just noted the odometer reading, thousands of miles, and processed the return. The contract specified drop-off at any major U.S. branch, but the mileage, the cross-country journey, and the implicit expectation of a local return were about to hit Brenda hard. My flight to Monaco was uneventful from my perspective, luxurious even. I landed in Europe feeling a profound sense of vindication. A few days later, the first angry calls started. Not from Chelsea, but from Brenda's financial manager. The private jet company had just billed Brenda's account an additional $450,000 for my route alteration to Monaco. Apparently, the original charter covered perhaps 8 to 10 flight hours. Utah to Monaco was easily more than 20 hours, requiring refuels, new crew, permits, and massive landing fees at a premium airport like Nice. The financial manager was apoplectic. Then came the rental car bill. The Range Rover, meant for 1 week of local driving, had accumulated nearly 3,000 miles. The rental company had charged Brenda's account for the mileage overage, even if it was unlimited. There are often fair use clauses or simply the sheer cost of depreciation on that many luxury miles in 1 week, and a $1,500 interstate drop-off fee. It wasn't the millions of the jet, but it added salt to the wound. Brenda herself never called. She sent a legal letter threatening a lawsuit for fraudulent misuse of services. I simply forwarded it to my attorney, who drafted a concise response. A demand for my outstanding design fee and full reimbursement for my team's losses, detailing how her breach of contract had already cost me hundreds of thousands. The letter also pointed out that her prepaid services for my travel, having been used by me as stipulated, were non-recoverable, and the associated charges were a direct consequence of the flexibility built into the contracts she approved. I never heard from Brenda Thornton or her lawyers again. I suspect the sheer cost of the private jet stunt made any legal action against me look trivial and potentially drew unwanted attention to her own questionable business practices. I eventually enjoyed a very pleasant extended stay in Monaco, entirely on Brenda's dime. Some lessons are learned with a handshake, others with a $500,000 bill. Brenda chose the latter. I hope her future charity galas are more modestly budgeted.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.